Bet you didn't know there's a place where Kentucky football and basketball fans unite. Welcome to Big Blue Breakdown. Whether you bleed blue or just love a good game, we've got the latest stories, hottest takes, and a whole lot of hometown pride. Hit play and join the conversation. This is your home for all things Kentucky sports.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome in to episode 43 of the Big Blue Breakdown. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this one. If you guys are watching, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, turn on the notifications so you can get every single video that we post. Obviously, going to be premiering like we always do, and we're going to be doing a live Friday. I just wanted to let you guys know. But yes, if you guys already are not following us on TikTok, X, Instagram, obviously Spotify, follow us there as well. Make sure to do that. It means a lot to the channel. If you do that, we post clips, everything like that on social media at BigBlue_breakdown. We are trying to hit a goal of 500 subscribers right now. We got a lot of subscribers from our last video. Obviously, you see here on this graphic, our goal is 500, guys. Thank you guys so much. We've grown so much in the last couple of months, and I just wanted to thank you guys for that. But for the episode of today, episode 43, obviously we have a sponsor, and I'm going to be just only thing today is going to be talking about my top 25 heading into the 2025 season. I think it's going to be really, really interesting because I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash for people that don't agree with me. But I'm excited to do this, and I want to hear you guys' opinions in the comments. So do that for me when you guys, after you guys watch it, and what your guys' opinions are on my takes and on my top 25 that I have here. So before we do that, let's go ahead and give a word to our sponsor over at Duby. Make sure to use code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off your order. Hello, everybody. We wanted to take a break in this episode to tell you about our friends over at Duby Energy. Duby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like any other energy drink. Some facts about Duby. Number one, it's zero sugar, artificial colors, or dyes, or hidden ingredients. It is also gluten-free. Number two, all flavors are unique and custom made by Duby. You'll never taste anything like a Duby drink. Number three, the drinks are $1 less, guys. That is cheaper than Starbucks or any canned drink. Lastly, it is made in the U.S. It is close to home. Guys, if you guys are looking forward to going to a Kentucky football game or Kentucky basketball game and you need some energy, get Duby. Duby is the perfect thing for you working out and you need some energy. You need Duby. You need Duby throughout the day. It is for you. Use promo code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off every single order. Guys, it not only just helps you guys be able to have a clean energy drink that you can use all the time with the tubs that they give you. It helps me and it helps the channel keep growing with you guys. If you guys do that, it helps us post more content and helps them, guys. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. But thank you guys so much for your time here. Please go check out Duby. Check out their website. And when you are about to purchase something, use promo code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off your order. Alrighty, guys, welcome back into episode 43 here on the Big Blue Breakdown, where I'm going to be giving you my personal top 25 heading into the 2025 season. So before we get into it, this is my criteria for my top 25 right here. It is not dependent on your schedule, whether it be a really, really tough schedule, whether it be a really, really easy schedule. It is not dependent on your schedule. It is dependent on the team that you have, the players that you brought in, your coaches, your retention from last year, your transfer portal class, and just how I feel about your team going into the year. And if they are a top 25 team, not based off of their projected record, not based off of their schedule. All right, I just want to preface that, not based off last year. This is the top 25 teams in the country to me, the top 25 best teams in the country going into week 0, week 1, whatever right there. So that is my criteria for it. So I want to go ahead and jump into it. I know there's gonna be a lot of backlash in this one right here, but let's go ahead and talk about my top 25. So I will go ahead and just run through them really quickly, and then I will come back and give you my reasoning on each pick in my top 25. Number 1 is Texas, 2 Penn State, 3 Georgia, 4 Alabama, 5 Ohio State, 6 Clemson, 7 LSU, 8 Notre Dame, 9 Oregon, 10 Texas A&M, 11 Illinois, 12 Florida, 13 Oklahoma, 14 South Carolina, 15 Kansas State, 16 Texas Tech, 17 Miami, 18 Arizona State, 19 Michigan, 20 Iowa State, 21 Iowa, 22 Auburn, and 23 Ole Miss, 24 Georgia Tech, and 25 UNLV. So I know there's probably a lot that stands out here. Okay, and probably the number one thing to me that is going to stand out to other people is going to be how high I have Alabama, how high I have Texas A&M, Oklahoma, how high I have Texas Tech right now. I really, really like them this year. And then Auburn, they were getting votes, so I can see people thinking it's all right. And then UNLV here, I really, really like UNLV. I will start with UNLV here. Dan Mullen comes out of retirement, and he is coaching UNLV now. I think he can be a really, really good coach for them, a group of 5 coach. And I think this will be the group of 5 team that will end up making the playoffs. That is my personal prediction. They bring in a lot of transfers, and they bring in a lot of pretty daggone good transfers. And their cornerback this year is going to be Alex Orji, quarterback from Michigan last year. I think he's going to be able to utilize him in a lot of different and good ways. And I think he's an offensive mastermind. He's at Florida. He did more with less, and I think that is what is going to happen at UNLV. So I really, really like Dan Mullen there, and I think he gets it done in the first year and makes it the 12-team playoff. So that is my personal prediction. I know that's kind of high, but I would put them at 25 right now. I really, really like what Dan Mullen does. I liked him at Mississippi State. I liked him at Florida. I think Alex Orji is going to be kind of a breakout player in 2025. But back to it, that is my number 25 pick here. Number 24, Georgia Tech and Haynes King. Now they lose their number 1 wide receiver in Eric Singleton to a team just a couple of spots in front of them. But I love the grittiness of this team. You've seen it last year in a ton of games, obviously in the Florida State game to start off the year in Dublin, Ireland, and against Georgia in their last regular season game where they took Georgia to the wire. I really like this team. I think this is kind of a Kentucky 2.0 in the SEC, like what we used to be, like gritty. But I like their weapons on offense. I like Haynes King, big Haynes King guy. I think he can do it all. I think he can be your superstar on offense, and so I think they're a sleeper pick for the ACC championship. So that would be my number 24. Moving on to number 23, Ole Miss. I am lower on Ole Miss than a lot of people are. I think Austin Simmons is the future. Yes, I just don't think that he is necessarily going to have the season people think he is going to have this year. I think they went all in last year in 2024 to make it to the playoffs, to have a shot at the national championship, and they fell up short with a really, really good roster. And you're telling me they lose basically all of those really, really significant pieces to the draft, and they're better now, and they didn't have a great portal class like Elder Lane Kevin portal classes. I don't see it. So I'm kind of lower on them, but I still do have them in my top 25. Number 22, Auburn. I love Auburn. I think if Jackson Arnold can be solid, I think they're going to be really, really good. I think the play calling under Hugh Freeze is going to be good on offense. Our problem last year was turning the ball over. And I think Jackson with a fresh start is going to be better this year. Cam Coleman, Eric Singleton, the dude that they got from Wake Forest. I talked about them in a short that I did predicting their schedule. I really, really like this team. I really, really like the weapons that he has. They had a really, really solid offensive line, and they had a really, really good defense last year. So I think I think they can take that next step this year, and I absolutely adore their roster. Number 21, Iowa. I really, really like Iowa. Iowa's defense is going to be top of the nation again this year, and they get a quarterback from South Dakota State. Is it South Dakota State? I believe, where their quarterback now won championships at the FCS level and won the Heisman at the FCS level. So this could be a kind of turnaround year for them on the offensive side of the ball. Now, last year they were not terrible at all on offense. So if they can just improve on that and with their defense, I really, really like them. Number 20, Iowa State. The Cyclones, they had really, really good success last year, but they ended up losing to Arizona State in the is it the Big 12? They're not in the Pac-12. They lost in the Big 12 championship game. I like what they have going on. I think they return a lot of players from last year. They have a lot of retention. So kind of, to me, is going to be around the same teams last year. A 20 to 25 football team. Obviously, they could move up based off their schedule, but that's not what this is based off. This is based off what their team actually is. And so I have them right here. Just right above them, I do have Michigan. I think Michigan takes a step up from last year. I'm just not in love with the starting a true freshman at quarterback. That's why I'm a little bit lower on them than a lot of other people. I believe that their defense is going to be good, and I really, really like them there. I just think they don't really have the X factors on offense. I like their offensive line. I like their running back group. I don't think they have an X factor yet, so that's why I'm kind of lower on them than others, but I think they're definitely good enough to be in the top 25, so I have them at number 19. Moving on to Arizona State, and Sam Levitt returning for his second year, I believe, second or third year. I think he's only going to grow in the Arizona State system. I know they lose Cam Scannaboo, but they return their number one wide receiver, and obviously they had really, really good success last year. They returned a bunch of those guys, and I think Sam Levitt can end up being the X factor for the offense and really, really running it. Again, they return a lot of really, really good players from a really, really good team last year that should have beat Texas in the playoffs. So that is why I have them at number 18. Moving on to number 17, Carson Beck in the Miami Hurricanes. Now, obviously, Cam Moore leaves, and they lose basically all their wide receivers, Isaiah Restrepo being a big one right there. I think they take a step back from last year, but I think they're definitely still good enough as a talent and as a roster. And Mario Cristobal, I think they take a step back from last year, but I think they definitely have the talent and the roster to be solid this year. And again, another really, really good portal class for Mario and the Hurricanes. Moving on to number 16. You want to talk about portal classes? The second best portal class in the country in Texas Tech at number 16 here. They went all in on the portal, and they had a really, really good portal class, and they were solid last year. Now you're looking for a breakout year. They returned their quarterback. I think they invested so much that they're going to get what they put in. So that's kind of how I see it. That they put the money into the portal, and I think they're going to see some results on the field. And so that's why I have them at number 16. I think the talent is there for them. and they're recruiting on a really, really high level right now, and I think that could reflect in the future. So I'm really, really high on the Raiders this year. Moving on to number 15, Kansas State. I really, really like this Kansas State team. I like their quarterback. Why can't I think of his name? I know exactly who it is. I know exactly what it looks like. Avery Johnson. There we go. Avery Johnson. I'm really a big fan of Avery Johnson. I think their team and him around him, they have some really solid weapons. I think they're almost like the same team as last year, but I think he takes a step forward. So I think them as a team take a step forward, and they got the talent. They have the continuity with him under center. I think just simply because he takes the step forward in being a very, very high level quarterback now instead of being a solid quarterback, I think that raises their roof, and I think they end up being a very, very solid team. So that is why I have them at number 15. Moving on to number 14, South Carolina. Now I'm not nearly as high on South Carolina as I am compared to other people. So in my prediction video, I actually had them going 7-5. Now, again, this does not reflect on what I think how their schedule will go or how tough their schedule is. I think it's reflect on the team. This team is a top 15 roster in the country with the dudes that they have, but I don't love the. And I'm saying all this because they have legit dudes, but I'm talking about what they lost last year, and I don't think they can fill all the holes on the defense. Now they have obviously one of the best players in the country in Dylan Stewart on the edge, and one of the best players in the country in Lenore Sellers playing quarterback. I don't love the wideouts. I think Nick Harbor is okay. He really has to step up. Other than him, I don't love it. And it's really gonna rely on Razul Fajan getting cleared. If he gets cleared, I like it a little bit more. That gives him another option there. But their offensive line was terrible last year, and so you got to make improvements there. Even with their X factors being very, very good on the top tier, they still have a lot to clean up from last year, including that offensive line, including in replacing a guy like Kyle Kennard. Now, their secondary is going to be fine. It's what can they get on the interior defensive line? What can they get on the offensive line? Can improve from last year? And can they have more weapons other than Nick Harbor on the outside? Even with all those questions, I still do have them at number 14. Moving on to number 13. Before I do that, I'm going to give me a quick drink. Excuse me. At number 13, I do have the Oklahoma Sooners. I believe John Mateer is the guy. I really, really like him, and I really, really like their wide receiver room. This team dealt with a ton of injuries last year, guys. I think that's what's really, really held them back. And then the poor play from Jackson Arnold because of the terrible offensive line and all the injuries that happened. I think the reason I have Florida ahead of them is because Brent Venables didn't have a successful season last year in his first year. So I trust a little bit more of a Billy Napier to have more of a successful season in the SEC because he's a little bit more experienced there. And that's why I have Florida ahead of them at number 12 with DJ Lagway. And it's all really going to depend on his health. I love the surrounding support around him. I'm a little bit hesitant on the defense, but I believe the offense can be very, very good. And if the defense can be solid, this team will be very, very good. And it also depends on DJ Lagway's health. So moving on to number 11, Illinois. I really, really like Illinois. I think they bring back a ton of pieces from last year. They had a lot of success last year in the Big Ten and maybe can make a run in the Big Ten this year. They return their starting quarterback, and I think their pieces around him is going to be very, very solid. That's why I have them at number 11. Number 10, I'm a team that I'm very, very high on, as you guys can see, Texas A&M. I am very, very big on Texas A&M this year, and in Marcel Reed and in Mike Elko. I think they really bring it together this year. They got the pieces to support Marcel Reed in the portal this year. They have a very, very good offensive line. I think Mike Elko gets that defense right this year. and I believe if they're going to rely heavy on the run game with Le'Veon Moss, which is a tremendous running back. If they can be solid in the pass game, which I think more so Reed is going to be really, really good in the run game, if you can have a consistent pass game, this team's going to be a very, very tough team to reckon with. Moving on to crack inside the top 10. Number 9, Oregon. I think this team returns too much. Obviously, Dylan Gabriel is not there, but I love the talent at the quarterback position. I love the talent all around. They bring in so many guys, reloading it year in and year out, and I love Dan Lanning. I think the mind there is perfect, and I think the guys, they return too much to not be in the top 10. Number 8, Notre Dame. I'm a little bit iffy on the quarterback play, but I love the surrounding staff. One of the best offensive lines in the nation, one of the best defenses in the nation. It's just, other than Jeremiah Love, what firepower do they bring? Number 7, LSU. I think possibly Heisman winner Garrett Nussmeier here. Now, the reason I have him at 7 is because they haven't done it in a little bit, guys. I think they have the number 1 portal class. They bring in a ton of weapons to surround him. A little bit iffy on that offensive line for LSU. I believe the defense takes another big step and improves a lot. It's just, can that offensive line be solid, even though you lose a lot of really, really good pieces there? Moving on to number 6, Clemson. I am huge on Clemson. I believe that they could actually be in front of Ohio State right now, but I'm not going to do that. I think Ohio State is too much, but Clemson, they're just an overall really, really good team. I'm just waiting to see what weapons does Cade Klubnik have on that offense, and that's really my only question. I'm fine with Cade Klubnik. I'm really, really fine with that defense. So that's where I have him at number 6. Number 5, Ohio State. Julian Saint named quarterback for them. I think it's fine. I think that's the right call. It's just going to be how well he plays. Their defense is going to be fine. The playmakers around him, his surrounding staff is going to be really, really good. So that's going to make his floor is going to improve just because his surrounding staff. So if he can be solid, they're going to be really, really good. Moving on to Alabama, I would say the exact same thing. I just think the offensive line is better, so that's really why I have them in front of Ohio State, is because the surrounding staff is just a smidge better at Alabama for Ty Simpson in co. Number 3, Georgia. Georgia's Georgia. I think Gunnar Stockton is going to be the X factor here. He's going to have the surrounding staff. The wide receivers are legit this year in Georgia. The O-line is legit this year in Georgia. The RBs are legit, and as always, the defense is legit. And overall, 2 really, really good teams here. 2, number 2, Penn State. Number 1, Texas. They're about the same team to me. I think I like Steve Sarkisian calling the plays a little bit more here. That's why I have them at number 1. I do think their quarterback play kind of, with the inexperience with Arch, kind of sets them kind of equal to Penn State, but I like the surrounding staff of him just a little bit more, and I like him a lot. And then you got the absolutely tremendous potential in Drew Aller and the top 2 running backs in at Penn State. It's just the wide receivers for them at Penn State, and see who steps up. So that is why I have them at 2, and that's why I have Texas at 1. That is the Big Blue Breakdowns top 25. That is my thoughts on it. That's my top 25. I really try to go into depth into these teams and tell you why, but that's the reason why I have them in all these places. Thank you guys so much for joining in to episode number 43 as we broke down the Big Blue Breakdowns top 25. And we will catch you guys tomorrow, dropping another episode. And as always, go Cats. Well, if I will actually click the outro button, maybe that'll help. Before I go, I know we're going to go live Friday. Check in late. It's going to be later at night. Not too late. Video coming out tomorrow, so make sure to get that. And then I don't know when we'll be doing next week, but we have done a video every single day this week. Tomorrow, kind of a special video, guys. Kind of a special video coming out. I'm not going to spoil it. But yes, this is the Big Blue Breakdowns, top 25, and we're going to do this right. And as always, go Cats.